Hey guys, welcome back to the channel once again, and today we're going to continue with our look at the Black Mamba oversized dinobots. And up this time is going to be the first of our arm limbs, that being this guy, Swoop. Along with this guy, the Power of the Prime Swoop, the Black Mamba oversized Swoop. Which one is better? Is one just as good as the other? Well, we're going to compare these guys and the custom work that I did on both of them side by side. This time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, man, that's right, hit that notification bell because it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Everything from countdowns to stop motions to reviews like these. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, Transformers, Collectors, and the Autobot family. And have a look for me everywhere across social media, man. And here we have two swoops, and there's a ton of custom work that's been done on these guys. Look, if you've been around the channel for any length of time, then a couple of things by now should be abundantly clear. One, I like animation accuracy, and two, I enjoy doing customs. Look at that custom Lio Kaiser I done a little while ago. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. When I got the Power of the Primes Dinobots originally, I knew that, especially on Swoop, that there was a lot of room to improve to add to that animation accuracy. Well, naturally, when Starscream Wife ended up getting me the Black Mamba oversized version, I thought, hey, I have to kind of do work on this guy too. For as great as he is at a package, there's certain things that I really wanted him to have, such as silver wings, but we're going to go through everything in his limb mode, in his Dino Mode, and in his Robot Mode when we compare these two lads side by side. So without any further ado, let's head over to the table and take a closer look at these guys. And so here we are now at the arm bots that go with the Black Mamba Volcanicus oversized Power of the Primes Dinobot set. We're going to kick things off with Swoop. And on the surface, both of these guys may seem pretty similar, with one obviously being bigger than the other. This one here is the Power of the Primes version. It has the clear beak. It's smaller. This one over here, of course, is the Black Mamba version. It has the more goldish beak. We'll see that a bit later. Obviously, it's larger in size. Now, when it comes to being a limb, in the past with the legs, I said, hey, whether it's the official or the KO, they make fine legs. In this case, I think it's significantly different because Swoop from the Power of the Primes, at least my copy of it, is a garbage limb, whether it's leg or arm, because the lower legs do not stay together. So if I take this guy and I move him at the waist, this is what happens. Every single time. It's not effective. He's a fine robot, fine dino, awful, terrible limb. But taking him out of it, if we take this guy and we turn him the same way, these stay together. Everything about this is toleranced much better. The bigger size really does help. But yeah, as far as the limb goes, the Black Mamba version wins hands down. Now, that being said, before we kind of look at the other modes, and we're going to go from limb to bird to robot, I do want to mention that three things are common across every single one of these releases. The first, of course, is, of course, this translucent sword. It's fine. It's fine. I wish that it had like a peg maybe there, because that way we'd be able to kind of peg it on a bit easier. But like, it's a nice sword, as well as the Black Blaster that is very much akin to sludges. And then we get to the directions, and while each one of these is unique, there's something the same on all of them. All this shows is the conversion between dino and limb, sorry, dino and robot. It does not show the conversion to limb, but I think most of us know it anyway. So what's the same here? Take a closer look with me. Here are the stats for sludge. Here are the stats for slug, or slag if you will, and Here they are for Swoop. In other words, they are comically all exactly the same, and the other two are the same, so I'm not going to waste time on them anymore. They're not accurate, I can tell you that much. Okay, man, now we're going to do bird mode. I think that makes sense. Bird mode seems to make sense, and we'll do robot last. We open this out and bring this up. We open this out and bring it out. We'll adjust that in just a little bit. We straighten out these arms, and obviously I have some custom work done here. We'll talk about that as we go as well. And we're going to turn it. There's now let's see if I can show this. There is a, maybe I should do it this way. Normally there's like a peg hole up here for when you have it in by the body. This guy does not have it, so you just have to angle it in by the body and tension holds it. However, when we turn the forearm, there's a peg that goes into the hip. The peg hole is there for the peg that goes into the hip. So we will turn this, and we should be able to bring this in and peg it into the hip of this guy, if I'm not mistaken. There, it'll fit into the hip. It's a tight fit, but it is very effective. We can take the bird head and bring it back. We can also take the combiner peg and angle that down inside as well. Bring that neck piece the rest of the way down. I guess we can even kind of bring the head out like that if you're so inclined. This arm over here, same thing. We bring it down, we turn it, and we will have it peg in on the hip as well. We're going to peg both of these in on the hip. Let me just do that here, and sometimes it's tight. Hold on, I'm going to do that and then we'll finish this off. Okay, there we go. Now we got them both pegged in there. It's a tight squeeze. We're going to take these feet and they straighten out, flatten out, I guess, like that. By the way, the robot mode feet are die cast on this guy. When we bring this up over, we have a peg here and a peg here. They go into a slot here and a slot here, so we need to angle the wings up a little bit like that so that we have these pretty much in the right area. We bring this up over and we should be able to bring that forward. We should be able to peg this in, and we should be able to come here and bring down a leg and bring down a leg, and technically in the end, boom, here we have Swoop in his Dino Mode. Now, to be fair, in Dino Mode, these guys are pretty similar, at least from this kind of side-on profile. What's different about them? Well, I did add a couple of extra Autobot symbols to the oversized one that I didn't on the official. In both cases, I did paint work on the wings to make them silver. What else did I do here? I did some paint work up on the head and head crest, again on both, and the official one naturally has the translucent top of the head that has been colored gold underneath, while the KO oversized version just has like a gold colored top. When we sort of stand them up, kind of in a, I guess, a standing position for this, we could see some more of the detailing and the differences. I don't know, I'm going to call this the stood up position. Now both of them I've colored in the red eyes to make them blue. Also on the chest there's a little bit of detailing down like right there that I colored red, same on both. The pelvis section on the oversized is a gray plastic, on the official that's black. The neck piece on the oversized KO is a gray, on the official it's also a black. Both of them have a port underneath the lower jaw. The Power of the Primes comes with a sword that actually fits up there in Dino Mode. That sword would have been nice to get with the oversized KO instead of just the kind of generic sword that we got. But nevertheless, I'm still happy with the look of him anyway. I personally like the gray pelvis and the gray neck hinge better than the black, but that is just a matter of preference. I will say this too, if you haven't noticed it on the first two, and if you haven't noticed it here so far, another big difference in detailing that I haven't talked about is the fact that the official Power of the Primes has sticker detailing that is supposed to mimic the way that they were originally depicted in plastic low 30 years ago. The oversized KO are a little more plain in that regard because they don't have that sticker detailing, but they are more accurate, I think anyway, to the animation. Okay, so it seems to me that we need to do the conversion now from Dino to Robot. We haven't given any scores yet. We're going to do that when we get him in Robot mode. First things first, we bring that down on his chest and we reveal his beautiful robot head. Next, the easiest thing to do is to bring the Dino feet, I suppose, up over the back and unpeg the robot legs from those wings. Unfurl down to his knees. Unfurl the lower legs. Straighten up the robot feet, and now we can stand the guy up. Of course, he's starting to go off frame, so I'm just going to readjust things here ever so slightly. There we go. We're going to open out the wings here and bring it up just so they're kind of out of the way at the moment. We're going to untab the hands here. We're going to turn at the bicep, and we're going to turn at the bicep, and we're going to bring out the hands there. We're going to bring out hand here. I'm going to stand the guy up. We're going to bring those down, maybe even angle these back a bit because hey, why not? Why not do that? And boom, in the end here we have Swoop in his glorious robot mode. And as you might well guess, here we have Big Brother Swoop and Little Brother Swoop, and they're very similar. I've done the same custom work on both of them. Now, Larkin's Lair done a complete body paint, if I'm not mistaken, of this entire set, including Swoop, and done a beautiful job. I tend to kind of take the option of doing more touch-ups, so to speak, and retaining as much of the original like color and plastic color as I could. But I mean, there's options there. If you're interested in, you know, kind of the full body treatment, check out what Larkin did, man. That being said, in this mode, what do I have done? I have red done on both heads. You could see on the chest the difference between the translucent top of the head on the smaller guy and the gold head. The neck piece as well, you can see up around the robot head, the neck piece is either black or gray on the other one. Same down at the pelvis, where the beak kind of ends. You can see that there's like a black waist versus a gray waist. Going on down the legs, I've done the same sort of silver detailing on the upper legs as well as the same sort of gold detailing right there on the very front, on the tip. The lower legs are the same thing. The upper arms, the biceps on both I did with a gloss gray. And the wings I did with a silver as well. I don't know, it works for me. I like it. This, to me, is very indicative of Swoop. I absolutely dig it. If you want to see a couple of more size comparisons to see how this guy stacks up, well, here he is next to a couple of Siege lads, that being the Voyager 35th Anniversary Optimus Prime and the 35th Anniversary Blue Streak. God, he's about a Voyager size and he feels like a Voyager, you know, like it makes sense here. And I like this scaling, I like this size, I think it works really great. So let's jump into the grades and get out of here, shall we not? First things first, his color. And in terms of his coloration, I'm going to say, honestly, it's about a 9.5. It's pretty good now. Straight out of the package, it needed some work, but it's pretty good now. The only deviations here, really, are we have the Dino Mode feet on the shins. They shouldn't really be there. That front of the shin really should just be black. But I'm cool with it. It's fine. We don't have the little missiles up on his wings, though the smaller version does have them, even though I don't have them on him right now. But the smaller version does have them. They were sent to me by a good friend of the channel, Dragonfly. They would be too small on this version, but that's really a small price to pay. Besides that, everything else is pretty accurate here. Funny enough, the pelvis I've talked about being either gray or black. It shouldn't be either. The pelvis should also be blue, but hey, you know, again, beggars can't be choosers. This is pretty close now. I'm going to say it's a solid 9.5. In terms of the transformation, I liked the Power of the Primes version. I think this does every mode better, and everything feels very tight. All the joints feel very tight. I'm going to say 10. So 9.5 and 10, 9.75. What about the articulation for the guy? We have left and right for the head, kind of up and down. The shoulders could get all the way around if not for the wings, so like range of motion in the shoulders as much as the wings allow. Out to the side, you know, very good range of motion. We have a bicep swivel. We have 91 degrees at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist. The swivel would be nice, but hey, what do you do?
In terms of the, I guess in terms of the wings can open out. They're also on hinges and can move up and down and back of the way and whatnot, which would allow you to get the shoulder all the way around. The legs go respectably far out to the side, maybe not perfect, you know, splits, but like respectably far, well forward, well back, thigh swivel. We have a super duper deep knee, which is great. I guess the feet could sort of wiggle forward and back. No ankle tilt. It's good articulation. I probably at one point would have scored it higher than I'm going to now, only because we have gotten certain articulation improvements with the Siege line, like ankle tilt, that maybe they always should have been there. Still, this guy can score some pretty dynamic poses, and because those feet are die-cast in robot mode, he does have a nice base of hefty weight to kind of stand on, so he really scores a lot of great poses. I'm going to say, honestly, I'm going to say 8.75. I am going to score it at an 8.75. He was getting a 9.75. Overall, this guy, as a representation of Swoop, is about a 9.25. And that's pretty fantastic for this flying dinobot.
And here we are once again, and honestly, I like both versions of Swoop, but the Black Mamba oversized version is better because it just works better in all modes. Like, the tolerances are just generally better on this guy, especially when it comes to the hips and the lower legs as they tab together to make an arm. He has a solid arm, he's a solid leg if you want to do the limb mode. In robot mode, both of these guys make good robots. In Dino mode, both of these guys make good dinosaurs. So I'm cool with them both in terms of robot and Dino mode. But in terms of being a functional limb for Volcanicus, the Black Mamba version is infinitely better. At least my copy of it is. Interesting note that I didn't kind of notice until now. When it comes to the like pins and screws and joints and all that stuff, the Black Mamba, if you were to look at the wing up here, on the official we just have a pin. On the Black Mamba we have what looks like a washer and a screw. However, if we look at the elbow, the robot elbow, there's a pin on the Power of the Primes version. It's just friction on the Black Mamba version. Now it's friction perfectly well. But I find it interesting that there's an instance where we actually have a pin on the official and not on the KO. Even though a lot of what they've used for materials on the KO here are better. Washers and screws instead of pins, for example. Both good, both strong. I like them both. For me personally, I prefer the Black Mamba, but in all honesty, there's absolutely nothing wrong if you prefer the Power of the Primes. I have both because I like both, but I'm not going to pretend that Starscream Wife didn't knock it out of the ballpark with getting this one. Anyway, let me know which Swoop you prefer. Let me know what you think about the custom work. You know, as always, I love to hear from you guys. However it is we get to interact, I appreciate you coming by. Give me some of your extremely valuable time. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, there is a donate link down in the description. Of course, again, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, somehow, some way, each and every day, you do make a difference, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams, at the stop motion premieres, and I'm working on episode 7 of Universal Collision as we speak. If you haven't checked out 6 yet, check it out. Or the old-fashioned way, right here inside the videos.